all good to go. So let's begin. Wonderful ladies and gentlemen, everybody, welcome. It's an absolute pleasure to have you back with us. Your friendly neighborhood wizards. Here we are, back at it again, and we're just going to have a discussion together and have a hell of a time doing it. I hope that you find this of benefit to you. So welcome.
Yeah, welcome everyone, and thanks everyone who came in last night at Rob's birthday bash, I call it.
Yes, we did some healing work for a wonderful mutual friend, and it turned out to be beneficial. And we did some clearing for this wonderful being. And now today we're both on the little bit on the tired side. It was great extension and use of energy, but I say energy well spent.
Yeah.
So I think we'll keep our protocol. Shall we start with the singing bowls, cleanse the energy?
You read my mind.
Yeah.
You knew I was going to say that.
Yep.
I'm actually, just for everyone else, guided by sound. I'm putting my frequency inside the bowls to amplify the frequency sort of thing.
And if you would be so kind, please add a link to the YouTube video of this frequency. So this is very potent, very powerful.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you.
I've got my little red ball. I found it. And that's I'll let it play in the background.
Wonderful.
You can't hear it, can you?
Not audible. It's not disruptive, and it's doing its wonderful thing.
Yeah.
So yes, I like your third eye on your mug. Like I've got my eye on you. So that's pretty cool. May I please ask you, what are the intentions behind your frequency? So is it only healing, or is there more involved with it?
The frequency's got 900 frequencies, and I think I mentioned I was being attacked, and basically eliminated one of my machines. It cost me a few grand. And so it started with 4 frequencies, and the 4 frequencies was to get rid of Archon, Reptilian, Demonic, and Dark Energies. That was the start. Then it went up to 400 with church bells, Sanskrit mantras, and even prayers, sacred ritual mantra prayers. So it's healing and removing dark energies. So it can do either. It does whatever the person needs, actually. Yeah. And if you look at some of the comments, there was a farmer, and this is the best. Well, there's 2 stories that I love about it. A farmer had been trying to get rid of demons for 10 years on his farm. He played it once, and the whole lot were left. They actually left. So that was good. And the second one, a person said they could feel the negative energy coming out of every cell. They could actually feel it coming out of every cell. So, yeah.
So that is wonderful that this is running now in the background. Actually, let's make that a thing. So as our wonderful audience are listening, they're receiving the highest energies of healing and removal of that which doesn't serve them.
And also, we're not getting attacked. Like, I think we had a bit of checking out last night on our event, but it means that the IT is being sorted and our area is being sorted. So
Oh my God, that's true. Certain things with technology. Again, I've spent a number of years as a telecoms engineer. The hardware is working. You're doing regular 3D stuff. Everything is working. As soon as you raise the energy, start doing some sort of a spiritual task, interference, Zoom goes off, your computer wants to upgrade, speakers don't work, headphones don't work, cameras goes all out of whack, and then you go back to 3D, it all starts working again.
Yeah, that's what happened yesterday when we were trying to get on Rob's event. I couldn't get my sound.
Yeah.
All I did was turn it off and on. I didn't adjust anything. But I did it 3 times. It just wouldn't. It didn't want me to speak. So, yeah.
So I suppose amongst our elevated audience, many have experienced this. So it seems to be a thing. So now we're just talking about it. I suppose lots of people are familiar with this type of interference. Anyway, still there's a place for technology. It brings us all together. We're in different parts of the world, all over the globe. We're not in the same city, although we're in the same nation, but let's keep all the good stuff with gratitude. And so hopefully this...
Yesterday's event, I noticed people were saying that Rob was freezing. Didn't look like he was freezing with me, but people were commenting he's freezing. So it's their system that's getting stopped, isn't it? Yeah.
I think it was he was the target,
Yeah.
and then towards the end, after the clearing work, it all started getting smooth again. So
people commented he looks younger.
Okay,
During
that's
it, he
good.
changed.
But,
He looked younger.
absolutely. You see, that's one of the other things, especially when we're under severe attack. It distorts the muscles in the face, the way you come across. Also, your aura changes. Sometimes, you know, on the positive side, people say, "Oh, you're glowing." That's actually a thing.
Yeah.
And the reverse is also true. When you're under severe attack, your energy is dimmed.
And then you go into stress, and the stress
Yeah.
does all
And then
sorts
that
of things
starts
to the
down the
physical.
line, affecting the physical body. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's good. I think it was he needed it. You know, he's a little, I suppose, shy, unwilling to accept support and help from others. But we're all kind of guilty of that. We're conditioned into giving, and then receiving. There seems to be some sort of a maybe belief system behind it that no, you shouldn't receive. You should just give. That's not good.
Am I worthy? It's like that sentence, isn't it? Yeah.
Exactly. Yes, that worthiness. Of course, we are worthy. So very, very well done. I'm happy. We could help a wonderful being. Turns out he's a universal ambassador. I didn't know that about him. So yeah, Robert Khalil, and his podcast is called The Typical Skeptic. If you don't know about him, check him out. He brings hundreds of wonderful people together.
When I see his surname, I think of Kelly.
Yes, one beloved Kali Ma. Krim Kaliai Nama. Kapalinaye Nama. Hrim Shrim Krim Parameshvari Kali Ke Swaha. Don't get me going, man. Yeah, Kali's awesome. So
in a coincidence, we both really love Kalima. It's a bit. Yeah, she's the mother god that you need when you're doing dark stuff. Well, when you're fighting dark stuff. Yeah.
But when I get my dumb ass into trouble, Kalima saves me. Oh no, not again. Oh, thank you, help me.
I have another skull to add to the collection.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So we were kind of talking about what to discuss, and we came across something wonderful. And so, as it is your idea, you please present, and let's take it from there.
Okay. We were talking about downloads, and many people do downloads. They don't know where it's originating from. They're just taking it in from the input at the back of the head. And it can quite easily be from dark beings. And I think, I named it as dark language. So be careful you're not doing dark language. Know the meaning, know the vibration, I think. Yeah.
That is profound. So many people hear of light language and they want to start speaking light language, and many of the subtleties and intricacies of using this very, very powerful modality of energy work are neglected. And this has the potential to cause enormous harm. So, light language. Well,
Okay. Can I just mention? I'll just mention that I think I mentioned it to you. The person who does the sound and breath work, he's an Arcturian starseed. I'm a Andromeda starseed, and we've swapped. So we haven't swapped fully, but we've got access to. I've got access to Arcturian, and he's got access to Andromeda. And when I was doing this, which is like vibrating the cells of the body, I started going. I hadn't got a clue what it meant. But luckily, as you say, I know the being, so I know the person, so I know it's good. But sometimes you know what it means, which is your light language, or angelic tongue. Angelic tongue is very similar, but a bit more powerful, a bit more the power in the words. And but the Arcturian I didn't know. But every time I do this, it used to come out all the time. And people at the healing centre, what does that mean? I don't know. It must be some sort of healing code, I think. But what were you saying? Sorry, I interrupted
so
you.
let's make a definition of light language, and then what would be considered dark language. Light language would be communication on a soul level, where the non-physical aspects of consciousness communicate through the vessel. This could engage the vocal mechanisms, so your voice. It could use tones, sounds. It could come with movements and dance. It could come in the form of paintings or writing. And so initially, the conscious mind will not be part of this. We see this in many forms of spiritual practice, even amongst some sects of Christianity, where they speak in tongues.
Yeah.
So this is kind of common, and so many are using this towards giving upgrades, energetic upgrades, changing the DNA, affecting healing, manifestation, spiritual warfare, all sorts of things. And
downloads.
It is,
downloads.
And because it is a soul thing, it is very powerful, extremely powerful.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's important that we know where it is coming from and what it means. Because otherwise there's always this potential risk that the source of information is not a benevolent being, and what is being brought into this reality through our body, now whether it's voice, movement, dance, script, painting, sculpture, that it may have undesired effects. So the conscious mind has to be part of it. Now, if you don't know what you are saying, there's no way to be absolutely certain that it has effects that you would go along with.
I think it's three things that you got to look at. Number one, where's it coming from?
Yeah.
Number two, what's the vibration and the energy of the message? And as you say, number three, can you translate? If you can't translate, if the other two are positive, then maybe it's still acceptable. The one thing that I get confused with, a lot of these messages to say love and light messages, and I don't get that. Why aren't they proper messages? Yeah.
Well, that's one of the things that is very important. For what it is worth, we are in human bodies, and so the brain, the consciousness related to the brain, and the wisdom of the body must be honored. Otherwise, we're going to suffer immensely trying to figure out concepts of spirituality not being connected to the infinite soul, and the brain is not designed for that. And so it leads to immense stress and suffering if you do not know what is what.
Mm.
So the human part absolutely must be honored. I agree with you. If you know the source of it and the vibration rings true, it can be trusted.
Mm.
But even
But
better, we have 3 out
yeah,
of 3.
yeah. When I was born, I think I mentioned I'm a walk-in, so I died, and I started speaking light language straight away. I believe it was Andromeda light language. So we got thousands of different light languages. So a lot of people don't understand Andromeda because it's not. There's only about a million starseeds here.
Yeah.
But the wondrous thing was my sister, who was a twin in another life. When I was Merlin, she was a twin of me. She translated to me mum and dad.
Yeah.
They thought I had brain damage speaking gibberish, but she was the translator of what I was saying. And that was quite amazing. Luckily, I had that,
Spot
but
on.
I had to damp it down because of indoctrination, school, and that sort of stuff. So bringing it out, I
Yeah.
get a bit embarrassed doing it because I've had a bit of trauma in keeping it down, if you get what I mean, because I was born with it.
Understood.
Yeah.
Well,
So,
you just pointed to the most important thing. Light language is a form of soul communication, and no matter where the soul comes from, it is understood by a different soul. So
hmm,
one is speaking Arcturian, the other one Andromedan in their own unique light language, and yet perfect communication is occurring.
hmm,
And so, in the form of humans, we're hosts to magnificent shards of our infinite soul. This purpose of communication must not be neglected. You must understand. And so, a certain being may communicate through light language, their own soul language, different things related to their well being and health. And you should be able to understand and speak back to that being in your own unique light language.
yeah,
So there's a way of doing this. So the human brain is a wonderful organic computer which is perfect for finding patterns. So you can look at the sky at night and you can make out any shape that you desire by connecting stars together. This is the brilliance of the human mind in pattern recognition. But if there are no stars, there are no patterns. So you absolutely must have data points to begin with, to then connect together, and then you start understanding, and the pattern emerges and the meaning comes through. So if one wishes to begin with light language, you would speak out an intention or message consciously. So for example, I'm going to set the message as wonderful beloved souls who are hearing me and seeing me. I bless you, I bless your life, and I bless your journey. Okay, now the mind is on board. And so now I am going to use dragon light language and speak this energetically. So compared to the energy and vibration of my words, the light language is considerably more potent. Shia naamawa yaukulu mishiawa natakia sana marila tiawashuno. And as I'm saying this, hairs are
I can
rising.
feel that in my fingers.
Yes, hair rising on my skin.
I've been given information about dark light language. So
Please
after
go
you've
ahead.
done this, carry on, and I'll mention because I've been given information I didn't know about. So,
See, so
so
this is point in fact. Now bringing my infinite soul in, allowing it to use my body, is giving you the exact same message. Now, once I receive light language, there's some patterns in the brain that will start unraveling that light language, and then the brain understands. So you
mm,
have to bring the brain in to the process. It is on you.
yeah.
And so let's set out more intention.
Can I
For the
say something? Can I say one
Yes,
thing?
please.
One thing that to be spiritual, really powerful, you've got to control your brain. Don't let the brain be the program. Don't let it be the computer. You control it. And once you control it, then you can do all that. It's easy. It becomes easier. Sorry. Right.
Yes, I think that is absolutely spot on. That the brain is not in charge of everything.
Mm.
It is part of a system, and it is honored. It has its place, absolutely. This is also true for our emotional body and other, let's say, instincts, more primal aspects resulting from evolution. They're also valid. So if you feel fear or anger, you acknowledge it. We're not dimming out or basically disowning them. But this is also in its rightful
I'm
place.
getting messages. I'm getting too many messages today. The
Go
higher
for it.
self is your spirit with your brain. Your lower self is your shadow and your brain. Has anyone ever said that before? I don't know.
Well, hey, it seems that we're facilitating
Your
the
soul, by the way, not spirit. I've just got contradicted.
well. See, this is wonderful. Now, point in fact, the potency of light language. So, if you bring the brain in and then engage the linguistic faculties, these are distinct parts of the brain, you bring that into that channel of communication, eventually you're going to decode the pattern. It becomes automatic. Linguistics is one of the most complicated functions of the human brain, and so we're really, really good at it. And then if someone else speaks light language, you start understanding the meaning of it in the form of emotions, pictures, colors, smells. You understand exactly what they are saying and what they are talking about. And then you set that intention initially, linguistically in your mind, and then you bring the soul on board so you know what's going on. This is the peak, the highest form of the use of light language. Now, in this way, once you understand what is being said, if there's a clause in the stream that you don't like, you say, wait a minute, not on my watch. I don't think so. That is dark language. Nice try, but I'm not going to speak
I
that into
I
existence.
think what happens with the dark matter, it connects with the shadow, and then the shadow runs the brain, and then you could kill and stuff. You do evil stuff, but then when the light language comes in and it's proper and it connects with the soul and it links with the brain, then you become a light worker. Yeah.
Yes, so that's really interesting. Well, shadow would be unhealed trauma
Yeah.
that
So
we
you got to
haven't
embrace it. You got to embrace it. Yeah. Can't
that
hide
we
it.
don't. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So unhealed trauma that we don't deal with and get suppressed,
Mm.
it's still there,
It can
waiting to be.
become its own identity. Yes.
It can be, and that is how many demons are born,
Yeah.
through that
But
suppressed shadow.
I was told dark magic is like a black magic. Yeah. So it's dark magic is like a black magic. And what them downloads, they try and ask your soul for the codex of entry as a to soul harvest. So theoretically, a dark language that's sending codex into the body, and you think it's okay. You then accept them, open up, and then they can send implants, attachments. They can then soul harvest. So that's what I was just told. Yeah, quite
Spot
interesting,
on.
isn't it? Yeah.
Really interesting.
Mm.
Wow. And so this just came in for you.
Mm.
You
Mm.
haven't read it anywhere. Just
I haven't read it now.
this is real time. Okay, this is exciting stuff.
Mm.
Yes. And so let's examine now that dark language in a little bit more detail. So, what it deals with is essentially unawareness.
Mm.
Light would be awareness,
Mm.
consciousness. And then let's say dark would be unawareness and unconscious response,
And pretending to be light.
and pretending to be light.
Trickster beings. Aren't
And so one comes from understanding, bringing in all aspects of our consciousness, including the brain, towards a benevolent and beneficial purpose. The other one, shrouded in darkness, could contain self-serving intentions that do not benefit the speaker of the light language.
I'm getting thrown loads of information. I'm glad I didn't study this. I'm glad I didn't. They're saying it's for the ones who are just starting to waken up, just starting on their journey, and they're the ones who get took over, basically, taken in. Yeah, yeah.
That is accurate.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it's at those times when we are just awakening that we are most vulnerable.
Hmm.
Once you're fully awake and in your power and you know what's what, they can't touch you. It's at those moments when you're breaking out of your slumber and for the first time realizing, oh my goodness, the universe is really vast and there is life all around us in so many forms. And, well, humans are kind of slow and often very dumb.
It's like being born, isn't it? Yeah, yeah.
And so it's at that point where we are vulnerable and susceptible to deception and attack. So, who to trust? Well, trust thine self, and to thine self be true. Start from the brain. And then don't worry about what it sounds like. It may sound like complete gibberish until you get that flow coming through. Doesn't matter if your language is boobly boobly boop. That is not the important thing. It's the engagement of the soul that gives it potency.
I've replied to people in light language, and they said, "What was that?" And I said, "Sorry, wrong language."
Wrong language. Oops.
Yeah.
Let's change the channel back to English. Oh wow! This is fascinating stuff.
I actually swear in light language now because it stops me giving them bad energy.
You're bringing in the soul. So if you're angry and you speak light language, that could potentially be much more potent. So, well,
Instead of me.
hey, it is what it is, and so it's okay. Well, what are the uses? Many. Let's see now how to put this in a more diplomatic way, not to step on anybody's toes. There are many out there that advertise for, let's say, activation of your light language, and they promise upgrades to your DNA, to your energetic structure, and let's, for the sake of argument, just say that they are the real deal and they actually deliver. If you are not aware, there may be upgrades and modifications to your energy that, if you are consciously aware of it, you might have an issue with some of it. Now, again, we're just giving everybody the benefit of the doubt that the practitioner is the real deal and that what they are actually doing to your energy does serve your highest good. Still, it is worth considering that we have free will. Certain difficulties and hardships are there to enhance us. You face a challenge, and by overcoming and rising above it, you gain wisdom as a soul. So you don't want to be robbed of those opportunities. This is worth consideration. Now let's go down to the next tier. The person has absolutely no idea what they are babbling about, but still the upgrades do serve you, serve your highest good, and both the practitioner and the recipient are ignorant of what is happening. That can also potentially be dangerous, with gifts coming online and you have no idea how to deal with it. It could drive people into madness. Now, third case scenario. The practitioner is ignorant and what they are channeling does not serve your highest good. They have no clue. They're confidently buzzing with the energy and babbling out destruction. So both recipient and practitioner are in ignorance and great harm is being done.
I was going to say with this one, the trickster will give you viable information that's good. Correct. Good information. They're only trying to get in. They can tell you anything they want because they've got access to it just as well as the light side. Yeah.
And then we come to the fourth category, where the practitioner is on board with evil. They absolutely know what they are doing, and then they utter light language in the form of a curse.
Yeah.
And so maybe the recipient is aware, maybe they are not aware, but they are being harmed regardless. So only a small proportion of those using light language fall into the fourth category, and the third one for that matter.
I was going to say, Amir, people don't actually know what a curse is most of the time, an X. And an X is basically the person who's doing the dark language is making a deal with some demonic being, some being, to get access to the person. So the person doing the dark language is getting paid off the recipient, but paying twice, one with cash, one with energy. And that demon can, God knows what it can do. Yeah. And I remove a lot of them X's. It can be quite troublesome.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. You got to go back, renegotiate the contract, undo it before it's happening, cast a new deal so there's a perfect separation with the least amount of damage. And that's a fine dance. You're walking at the edge of the blade, and it's not an easy task.
And some of these are quite easy. So one, I think I mentioned, one was a 1,000-year blood curse, and all she wanted was an apology. That was it. That's all she wanted. She didn't want anything else. And once the family line did the apology, it was like a domino effect to the old timeline. Yeah.
And so now you guided me to something that I wasn't thinking of myself. That, to be perfectly honest, demons get a bad rap. That humans are capable of infinitely greater evil.
Yeah.
Much worse than any demonic being. We leave them back in the dust. When we want to go dark, we go cray-cray. And so it's that intention of dark. It's not always about, say, let's say, a demon harvesting energy. It could be just intention of harm by a human who knows what they're doing. And it comes from, again, dark places, energy of hatred, jealousy, vengeance, depression, all that heavy stuff. And then when you mix that heavy energy in the form of light language, it becomes incredibly destructive, and removing it becomes that much more difficult.
I've got a story about light language. There was a person, you don't mind me divest this, fine. There's a person, and she came on one of me and Deb and Rick's live events, and she said she's been trying to do light language for 20 years.
Right.
And she can't. She never can do it. So I went into the timeline, and she got well abused as a child, sexually abused. And I said, look, I know it's a live event, and I don't know where this is going, but we've got to sort this out. So we healed the childhood trauma. And she actually started forgiving herself for holding on to the energy. You got to forgive yourself because you're part of the reason it's still there, still blocking you. So you've got to forgive yourself, send love to the person who did it, even though it just sounds wrong, but it breaks the contract, but makes the link. And once she did it, she started doing light language. And she actually said the following week she's done light language every day since. So sometimes that little blockage, it's not a block, it's a trauma blockage can stop you going forward. Yeah. So.
Wow. Wonderful. That's just spectacular.
Scary.
So,
scary at the time.
You know, that's something else that people really need to consider. You got to be brave.
Yeah.
At a certain point, you've got to make the jump, leap. This is shown beautifully in the tarot with the Fool.
Yeah.
Leaping off the cliff.
Yeah.
And really, some of our most monumental breakthroughs in life come when we just say, you know what, screw it, I'm going to do it, whatever may come.
Unknown boundaries, isn't it? It's an unknown. Let's just go for it anyway.
Yeah, that is
A leap of
powerful.
faith. A leap of faith, I think they
Leap of
call it, don't
faith.
they? Yeah.
That is incredibly powerful.
Hmm.
And so when we're facing traumas, when we're facing, let's say, spiritual warfare, anything that invokes fear, because fear is the killer,
Hmm.
we just have to say, you know what? Do your worst. Come at me. Show me what you've got. As soon as you rise in that energy of valor, the opposition fades away.
My warrior work was based on if I die, I failed. I didn't have any fear. Just go for it. And if I win, I win. If I die, well, what can be the worst thing that can happen? Nothing. I've lost.
You just come back in a different body and finish the job.
No,
That's yeah.
I finish the job before I go in that body, and then I go in the body.
Of course, yeah, that makes perfect sense. Of course. Well,
Yeah.
this is maybe you want the joy of hearing the cries of your vanquished enemy. So yeah, different.
Yeah. Funny.
Yeah. So valor, yeah, that goes a long way. And another thing, the matrix, the holographic reality, is
Hmm.
this is one of the fundamental rules. So the underlying architecture upon which all the other rules and regulations are built, valor is rewarded.
Mm.
And so this is something to keep in mind. If you are brave, if you have courage, things go favorably for you.
Mm.
And so this is also reflected in the, let's say, battle philosophy of many warrior tribes. They go into battle considering that they are already dead. And so they think that, okay, I'm already gone. Let's take as many as these enemies with me as I can.
They do a lot of chanting, don't they? And I think the chanting is probably some sort of light language, warriors sort of light language.
Oh man, this
It's
goes a
like
long way.
bringing in like the source into you to make you bigger, powerful. Yeah.
Um, well, probably our audience will find this, which I'm about to say, fascinating.
Mm.
This is a ritual from ancient Persia, modern day Iran, and before they go into battle, they mourn their fallen comrades. And so there's this music, and then they beat on the chest rhythmically, hundreds of them all together, and the thump echoes, and they cry. Grown ass men cry like children. It purges all the heaviness out, and then these guys lose fear of death. What are you going to do with an enemy that does not fear death? That is a horrifying thing to face. And
Mm.
so this is that modality of spiritual warfare used in has been used in ancient Persia, and it was used during the Iran-Iraq war in the 80s.
Mm.
Mass waves of humans, and these guys are crazy out of their mind. It's like facing berserkers, like the Vikings. They had a similar kind of modality. You just switch gears, you turn into a fighting machine. No fear, you feel
Well,
no pain.
it's like when you have plant medicine. When you plant medicine afterwards, you've got a euphoria of powerful, and a
Yeah.
lot of tribe people have plant medicine before going into battle. So afterwards, they're like gods. They think they're gods. You know, they're invincible. Which
And
you want soldiers like that.
the thing is, going into those zones of consciousness, it has an effect on the body. So the blood vessels under the skin, they contract.
Mm.
It's a biological thing. So if you get
Is that like
cut,
the god power we got it deep inside us? Yeah.
it's some sort of weird woo-woo warrior thing built into humanity.
Where you can
So
lift a
if you
car on your
you can lift
own.
you
Yeah.
can lift a car, you can just push your fist down the throat of a lion and choke the damn thing,
Mm.
right?
Have I ever told you I lifted a pallet over from a woman's head, 600 kilo, And the driver said, you know, that was 600 kilo. We saved her life. Yeah. But she was screaming just about to, head was just going pop. I just lifted it. And I wondered where that power came from. Yeah.
This is built into, so that would draw from the root,
Yeah.
from the root
The
chakra.
Kundalini sort of thing.
Yeah,
Power.
yeah, yeah. And so there's ritual practice to activate this.
Yeah.
And once you learn the path, you can switch it on.
Yeah.
But it takes a lot of training. But then this is used in warfare. So that would be also under light language. The chanting and the movement and the thumping of the chest, right?
Even the sound of the chest, yeah.
Oh, yeah,
That's
yeah.
light language.
It's and that's an abuse of spirituality. Hundreds of thousands of young Iranians lost their life fighting a superior and better armed army for 8 years. And so that went down. That's the energy I grew up in. So yeah, I was seeing dark language before I saw light language. So thank goodness.
You could even say that was light language being abused. It's slightly different in dark language. It's like a third tier, like, yeah. Light language being done for the dark stuff, yeah.
Yeah. So there's nothing wrong with the modality. It's just it's being abused.
Yeah. Which is a third one. It's the middle one, isn't it? Middle of the road.
Middle one,
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Let's add a fourth one. Something that was originally meant to harm, used to benefit.
I think we've been there ourselves. Yeah.
Alchemical transmutation. You turn it on its head. Energy is energy. So it's all about the intentions of the practitioner, what you do with it.
I've done this. This is using light language to take one's energy to stop them being dark. When they're Xing somebody, you can actually do this language to draw their soul energy out, and then you tell them, do you want me to carry on? And if you don't if they say, no, we'll stop the X, then you give it back. All of it back.
Just be a good boy and go to sleep.
Yeah. So, should I own up to that? Oh, well, never mind. I've done it.
It's prevention of harm. So maybe they go to sleep, they have a really restful and wonderful snooze, and they wake up in a better mood. And, regardless of what mood they wake up in, you've prevented harm. So that is okay. There's no cause of harm here. Wow, light language, huh? Fascinating stuff. So yeah, wonderful, ladies and gentlemen. Perhaps we can set an intention using light language, and so let's consciously set the intention that many blessings to you. May divine grace and divine light fill your existence in every way, and may the memories of the correct and beneficial use of light language awaken in you.
Can I add something to that? Can I add a little bit?
Please.
For anyone who's just needs that one layer shifting, it'll accept downloads from the higher. We'll send you them downloads that you need, them awakening codes or whatever you need to go further on your journey. So we're going to speak light language,
Yes,
It's
sir.
like it, doesn't it? Okay.
Mala
Sakono Do you know, I knew what I was doing then. What you do for when you're forcing it out, because you're bringing the energy of the light language into the voice instead of bringing it into the hands for healing. actually bringing into the voice. Yeah, I never thought about that then. Yeah.
It's potent, potent,
Mm,
potent, potent. And so the intention is known to you,
mm,
wonderful audience.
mm,
And so we brought in the energy of the soul to give it that extra oomph. And so
yeah.
hopefully it will open the doors and it will serve your highest good.
Mm. Are we ending with sound healing?
Yes, sir.
I'm going to
Let's
do a
do
different
that.
one. I'll do the other one. I'll just do a little ring with this because I haven't done it before. Yeah, good. A little bell. Thank you. Oh, by the way, I, I found my Harry Potter wand.
Oh,
These actually still can be used. The resin, the earth, still earth materials. It can still be used.
absolutely.
Oh,
Yes, yes.
even though they're fake in a way, they can still be used. Yeah,
It's just an object
yeah,
to focus your energy, and
yeah,
if it's pointy, even better.
yeah. And it's got the power of all them people that watched Harry Potter.
Well, even better. They're the
Yeah.
believers. Yes.
Funny enough, a lot of truths in Harry Potter, but we won't go there.
Well, yes, yes, yes. So this has to make it into the mainstream somehow.
Mm.
Uh, but you're right. I think the authors, they're either powerful practitioners themselves and they're channeling,
Yeah, yeah.
or they're consulting um, official and aware practitioners,
Mm.
witches, wizards. They're just talking about the language, the
So,
symbology.
some of the spells they do that are right. It's like a light language spell, and I'm thinking, can't do that to the world.
Yes. Oh my God. Yes. You just thanks for that. Some of that stuff that you hear in such movies uttered by wizards, witches, magicians, this is light language. So
Mm,
they're using that for manifestation. Spot on. Yes, yes, yes. That is true. That is
mm,
absolutely true.
yeah, and there is power in words, like the English language. Yeah,
Especially if you bring in the soul in, and then you're basically projecting energy. It becomes very very potent.
yeah.
Wow. So this
Well,
this was a wonderful 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 discussion. So much goodness in this episode, and we both brought in concepts I've never heard before,
mm,
never come
unplanned as
across
well.
before.
Not
Yeah,
planned this one.
not
Yeah,
planned at all.
yeah.
So I think we should keep doing this.
Mm,
This is exciting, first of all for us, but I hope our wonderful audience enjoy it also.
yeah.
Yeah,
What's this one called? Light language. What- Is it
light
just like?
language, dark language.
Yeah, I thought that. I was thinking I
Yeah,
was.
yes, yes, yes. That's amazing.
Mm, yeah,
Okay, okay. So let's bring this one to a close. Wonderful audience, if you want to ask anything, just comment under our videos. We'll do our absolute best to get back to you. And
yeah.
if we fail to do so, please accept our apology. We're human. We do our best.
Just repeat it on another video. Just keep on
Yeah,
doing it, and we'll find
we'll
it
we'll
eventually.
get to it. So yeah,
Yeah,
thank you so very much.
yeah.
Bless all of you. I hope you have a super super fantastic day wherever you are.
Okay.
Thank you.
Bye.
Take care. All the
Take
very
care.
best. Take
Bye.
care, buddy. I'll see you next week. Bye.
See you then. Bye.